cars, start your engines. Time to accelerate. Time to accelerate.
Motionless, I'm standing still. Nothing seems to make me move. What got me here, it won't get me there. So even if it isn't true, let me have my white light. Then everything will be fine. Even if it isn't true, let me have my white light. Then everything will be just fine. Even if it isn't true, let me. Even if it isn't true, let me. A small degree of honesty might be all we really need. And I don't care of feeling spared, but I still need a reason to be. Let me have my white light, then everything will be fine. Even if it isn't true, let me have my white light, and everything will be just fine. My white light. My white light. Even if it isn't true, let me. Even if it isn't true, let me.
Always fun.
Yes.
Always digging the music around here.
Oh yeah, you can tell I'm just dancing off camera.
Yeah, because you're a dancer. That's we all
Right,
know
right.
this. We
Mhm.
the only Nordic dancer in. Let's start the show.
Distance nerding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you didn't accidentally end up on the wrong channel. You're not in the wrong place. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now experiencing Distance Nerding. Part of Comic-Con Radio. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, wrong show.
Why not?
I mean, we are part of the Comic-Con Radio podcast network family, but this show isn't on that network. So, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? It is time to get into the build. It's time to start having all the fun. We've got fun guests to interview like usual. We've got all the comics podcasts in the chat right now talking about Comic-Con Radio, right?
Yeah.
But we've got a fun show tonight. I'm going to be starting a new build tonight. We've got a guest that we're going to interview here, and then of course we're jumping into the brackets at the on the second half of the show. We've got to finish that championship round of worst comic book movie or worst video game movie. I keep saying comic book. Worst video game movie.
Yes, we already did the worst comic book movies.
Yeah, we will get to that. That's going to take 10 years. And then we're getting into best speedster after that.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that, guys, in the second half of the show. But before that, before we jump into all of that kind of stuff right there, let's pay some bills and let's talk about keeping the lights on here, because ladies and gentlemen, this show everything that we do on this channel is brought to you by Pod Decks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Pod Decks are a unique interview question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, level up with poddex.com. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to poddex.com or download the Poddex app and use the code nerding10 to get 10% off your order. It is great stuff. There are physical decks as well as different kinds of merch and stuff like that. Of course, if you want to get a card deck, you are able to do close-up magic. I don't have a sound effect for this, but yes, close-up magic. And we're going to do a trick for you right now. What is our question of the day?
Our question of the day is, if you had to lose one of your five senses, which one would you give up?
Well, shit.
I don't think that's a sense.
Could be. Depends on where you are. I almost want to say sense of smell, but at the same time, no, because like it might save my life.
I mean, maybe. As someone that had severe allergies their entire life, I didn't have a sense of smell for the most part anyway, so I'm willing to give that up in a heartbeat.
Willing to give up that sense of smell.
Yes.
He said like Scott Lang. Oh, comics. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, so Esteban over at Comics Podcast said that he's willing to give up his vision. Matt Aguilar actually saying that he would be willing to give up his sense of smell. So I am also willing to give up my sense of smell. Actually, Matt, I was just talking about you with Graveyard right before the show. I was telling him I was listening to Comic Book Nation this morning because I was catching up, and I heard you gush over Melissa Flores. Hopefully you're in the chat in 2 weeks because Melissa Flores is going to be on this show in about 2 weeks, man. So that's going to be fun. And then you were talking about Nacelle Company and how you love the Biker Mice from Mars. At the end of February, Brian Volks-Weiss is going to be on the show. So I'm hoping you're going to be in here, man. Just asking your questions right there. So she's awesome. I met her at LA Comic-Con and I was happy to meet her. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if the show is Graveyard, you said you'd be willing to give up your sense of smell, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So we're all saying sense of smell here. So all right. So if the channel is brought to you by Poddex, then you may be wondering to yourself, how does young Phil continuously have all of this energy? Where is it coming from? How in the shit does this guy have so much energy all the time?
I wake up at 3 a.m. every morning wondering that question, and I have to message Phil in the middle of the night and go, dude, what are you on?
And I'm going to tell you guys, it is a combination of Adderall, crack, and Rippets. Kidding. Just joking on that. Ladies and gentlemen.
One of those is not true.
And the one that's not true is the Rippets. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, young Phil and his energy is brought to you by W. Yeah, I was trying to create some tension around there right there for that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, W is a emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Now, what Graveyard always wonders to himself is what makes W different from other gaming supplements out there, right? I know he ponders and racks his mind about this all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, W contains Neurofactor. Neurofactor is a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity with 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. In other words, what it does is give you the ability to have maximum effort. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And as always,
I feel just like a little girl.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Go head over to w.gg. Use the code nerding10. Get 10% off your order. Again, very well worth it. Very delicious. Always great. Going back to the chat here. Comics podcast. The only reason because at least I'll still be able to hear music and not be too cheesy. My wife and kids. Tater said that's true. Darren Chibi in the chat said right here, still has brand deals with W. Any new flavors? Dude, there's like 7 new flavors, and I haven't been able to get any because I'm poor. So Nerdington Street, no, Nerding 10. Like we saw on the screen a second here, real quick. Boom, right there. Nerding 10.
I mean, there should be a Nerding 10 where we can all live in a community and do content.
Oh, well, if you guys head over to Facebook and join the group, the Nerdington Post, there you go. There's your chance. Say Wong in the chat. What's up, man? To my non-nerd buddy over there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm stalling more than I should, so let's get into this. Let's introduce our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is an artist, a writer, graphic designer, and overall badass, even though he had the great misfortune of being a Marine. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the greatly talented and creative. We get back to the right screen here. Crumbbum, the artist. How's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, we don't hear you.
My bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I like how you snuck that in there about being a Marine.
Like I said, the great misfortune of being a Marine.
It's a hard life.
Oh, man.
I loved it.
That's how you can tell, when we're brothers in service, right? The immediate joke is, oh shit, he's a Marine. Okay.
Yep. Short end of the stick. Get down there, kill, and get out.
Hey, yeah. If you need something destroyed and in a hurry, call the Marine Corps.
Yep. And I was a trigger puller too.
Right. If you need a building secured with a good lease, call the Air Force. If you need to transport Marines, call the Navy. And if you need a bunch of idiots walking around in the wilderness and pretty much, playing a bunch of grab ass, then call us, call the Army. We get the job done, but maybe 10 years too late. So,
hey, I was jealous. When we was out there, we go to y'all bases. They had like pool. I had steak and lobster. We was eating MREs at our spot. Okay. I was so jealous.
I don't know what Army base you went to because where I was, that's how we looked at the Air Force.
Really?
Because the Air Force is like, they get all the nice stuff. They're the ones getting steak and lobster, whereas we're getting like field chow and MREs, and if we're lucky, you have like a week old snack bread in your pocket that you forgot was there, right? Like something like that.
Yeah, I was at Ramadi, not Ramadi. I was in Ramadi, but my first tour I was over at Abu Ghraib prison. We was out of there.
Oh, okay.
They had a great chow hall. So yeah, that's what I was used to. I got sick and tired of lobster and shrimp, or the steak. That's how much they served it.
God, man. When I was at Bragg, we would always try to sneak into Pope Air Force because like our chow halls were just like, it's glorified cafeteria food. Right. But then you go over to Pope Air Force, it's like a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah.
You go to the Air Force bases more often, man.
Look, they wouldn't even let us on. I didn't do nothing. I don't know why. They were like, no Marines. I'm like, I mean, I'm thinking like in like Japan. Yeah, they wouldn't let us in.
Oh man. Well, let's get into this, man. So before we get into your story, let's talk a little bit more about you, right? We want to find out more about like how your mind works, right? So if a movie was made based on your life, who would you want to play you and why?
That's a good one. I don't know. I think maybe I can't think of nobody. I do Lakeith Stanfield. Forget it. I'll go with that. Even though he's a lot thinner than me.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanford's like he's that dude kills every role that he's in. You know, we were talking about him the other day.
Yep.
Because we were talking about, okay, well, you know, we got to replace King the Conqueror right now. So it's like, okay, so who would we want? And Lakeith Stanfield's name came up, and you know, my response immediately was, he's a great actor. He's a little bit too skinny to play King, but I mean, we've seen people put on, you know, massive amounts of muscle to play characters. So you know, you get the right trainer, and you know, they know his body type. They can figure out how to make him buff, right? But it's like, you know, my number one, and so is Frey's number one is our pick is John David Washington.
Which one is he?
John David Washington. That's Denzel's son, but I think that he would be a good pick to replace Jonathan Majors.
Huh? That's interesting. Yeah,
because he's a good enough actor, and again, Jonathan Majors is out at this moment because of the situation, you know. So
yeah,
a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't think of him. Somebody was saying, I think it was what is it? Comics Explained guy. He was saying that he thinks it should be the dude that played you know, the black dude from the Fear of the Walking Dead with the scratchy voice.
Oh yeah. I'm forgetting his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Colin, something or other.
Yeah. He was a big contender too. I saw a lot of people champion for.
Yeah. Then it was another one. They were saying just go and do instead, like flip it out and make it what's his name? Dr. Doom. Just go with a Dr. Doom storyline.
Well, that's
end it at that.
That's where everything seems like it's going right now, is that they're going to be switching over to Dr. Doom.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, we've all been waiting for Dr. Doom to show up at some point.
Oh yeah, Phil knows. I've been championing for Dr. Doom for months now, just to get him in there. With? As Doom.
Yeah.
I think Cillian Murphy would be fantastic Doom.
Cillian Murphy is my first pick. I think he's a dude that is he's you know, no homo. He's handsome. I can't really say that anymore, but I mean, like, you know, he's handsome enough to play the character. At the same time, he is dashing enough to be able to pull off that character. He can play villains really well, so I think he would be a good pick for Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, I just imagine him mixed with Oppenheimer, mixed with his character Jim from 28 Days Later, when he goes silent and psycho and just kills everyone, and then include his psychoses as Scarecrow as well.
I actually think when I think of his Doctor Doom, I think of his character from what was that movie? That show, Peaky Blinders.
So that variant version of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, I could too. Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking a little bit older. So I was thinking, what's his name? Pierce Brosnan back, but he's old now. He just play Dr. Fate?
Yeah. He was actually a decent Dr. Fate.
Yeah. I could see if we don't have to see his face much, just, you know, keep the mask on, just hearing that voice.
Because that's the whole thing, is you need somebody who under that mask, because Dr. Doom is such a narcissist, right? His whole thing is he believes himself to be mangled and destroyed, but then when you see his face, when you finally get the face reveal, he's ridiculously handsome. He just has like a small scar on his face.
Yeah.
And that's because of how much of a narcissist he is.
Yeah. And they are making Mr. Fantastic really young, so I guess they probably would be better to go with a younger looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could always just go with the OG from the Fantastic Four from the early 2000s. He did a good job as Doom.
Yeah. So he played Doom really well. It was just Doom was not written well in those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So get him some good writing and we'll see what he can do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can see all that. Yeah, that would be really. I'm excited to see where they go because they get us a good Kang or give us a good Doctor Doom. I'm ready.
Right. Exactly. I'm with you on that. So next question that we have for you here. We have a segment called Growing Up Geeky on the show. What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Ninja Turtles. That was my stuff.
Yes.
That was my stuff. That was the fire. I used to have all the toys. I would cry to my stepdad to buy me more. You know, we go to the store. Can I get this? And he'd hook it up. I had so much of them things. I ended up giving them away later on to some younger kids. But yeah, it was that and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. I would go over to my cousin's house. They had all the comics and I would go over there and read all their junk.
So were you like me when they came out with Miles Morales? I immediately identified with that character.
Yeah, once I read it, at first I was kind of like, because I loved Ultimate Spider-Man. Like that was my stuff when I was a teenager. So I was like juiced. It's in this time frame. I was so juiced, and then they killed off Peter, and I was like, you can't kill Peter. And then when I saw who they was replacing it with, and I read it, I was like, okay, yeah.
It's like I understand, and this is a good move. I like the way they did this. Like I'm me being Latino, man. I identify with that character in particular. You know?
Yeah. He's become something like just off the chain now. I love that character.
Yeah,
and I'm loving these movies.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see who they put in when they do live.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I loved them in the comic book. So like when they did the cartoon, when they did Into the Spider-Verse, like you know, I felt like they portrayed that character extremely well. So I mean, I'm very happy with what we've gotten in everything that's going on with all this.
Oh yeah.
I think with that movie, the art style really sold it too.
Absolutely.
Iconic cartoon now. People look, Ninja Turtles came and copied it, you know. I mean, it's really close, but I mean, it's not for beat for beat or nothing like that, but it's really close, and you can see just the impact that movie had.
Right. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's actually the same the same animation studio that did it.
I never looked into it. I was already like, oh yeah, why y'all trying to do Spider-Man? You know, when I saw it. But I mean, it still is really different. Even like I think what I liked about the Turtles one was it looked like the old one. It looked like that art style.
Yeah,
like, just kind of gritty and ugly. It was cool.
The only thing that was missing was Ninja Rap.
Ninja rap.
Yeah, you gotta cringe. I used to love that song, but now as an adult, I'm like, what was I doing?
It's because you look at Vanilla Ice and you're just like, what the hell? What were you doing, man? I forgot to ask you this too back a minute ago. Who was your favorite turtle?
It was Michelangelo at first, but then around the game, the side scroller game for Nintendo, the one for the arcade. I got into Donatello. I like the reach, and I like purple, so he's my dude now.
You ended up becoming a Donnie fan. See, I was the same way. I started off as a Mikey fan, and then when I came into my own and I started realizing like who was my favorite character, like who's the best character written to me, it was always Raph to me.
Yep.
A lot of people like him. Yeah, I never liked him much. He was too much of an asshole for me, but I get why people like him.
But like my whole thing is more, it starts getting into a redemption story with him, right? Because it's not just because he is an asshole, right? And the whole thing is each each of those characters has a different story arc that defines who they are, right? You have Leo is the reluctant leader that needs to learn how to actually lead, and also needs to learn how to like be like a brother. Like he needs to like realize that, you know, I need to rely on my brothers and not just carry everything on my back, right? Mikey's the one that needs to grow up, and he has a lot of like he's real childish, right?
Yeah.
Donnie's the smart one, but he's also like shy and kind of he's a little bit of a pacifist in a lot of cases, right? And then Raph is headstrong. He's the of all of them, he's the best fighter, but he's also he's quick to anger, and he's super brash. So he has to learn how to, you know, back up and work as a team and realize that he can rely on other people. So that's that's the whole thing. Is like I felt as an adult, I started feeling like Raph's storyline is more compelling as somebody who loves good storytelling.
I get you. And remember, I grew up with the silly cartoon, the one that everybody make fun of now from the 80s. So.
Grew up with that. We had Rob Paulson on the show, and he played Raphael in the original cartoon.
I gotta go back and see that one.
Oh yeah, but Mike, I completely agree with you. In the video games, Donnie's his staff would just the reach on it was amazing.
Yeah. yeah. It made me a fan after that. I was like, okay. And then look, Rav had the further back. I mean, like he didn't have no reach, so
right.
He would get messed up. So it just made me never want to use him. But you know, but who can not love the katanas?
Yeah.
So it's you know.
It's also, if you know weapons, right? Like size are counter-offensive weapons. Size are not. They're not meant to be offensive weapons at all. It's meant to counter like a sword or something like that. So like, you know, like Raph always had like kind of almost like the weakest weapon.
Well, I'd say
better. Sorry,
go ahead.
I think better games are like doing it now. Like he's way like they just did one for like the phone and everything. And that game is tough. It's like a dungeon crawler. And Raphael is he tough in that one. He's tough. So
I was gonna say Mikey lost it when it started getting aired in in Europe area, and they couldn't have nunchucks anymore, so you just had to have the grappling hook.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
They ruined him, yeah. They ruined him when they did that.
All right, man. So let's get into the meat of the interview here, man. We're gonna get into more about you, your career, and everything you do here. So I've got a very, very personal question for you here, man.
All right.
What is your favorite flavor of crayon?
It's probably gonna be purple. I love blackberries and stuff like that, so yeah, I'm gonna go with purple.
Oh man, I love the swerve questions. All right, let's actually get into the interview.
Yeah. So how did your love of art come about? Was it something you've always had with you?
I think it's always been there. I think I was like the earliest memory I have is like I learned how to make a turkey with my hand. In school.
Yep.
And and then it was around the time that Ghostbusters, the cartoon series, was out, and I made a whole story of the turkey going into the ooze and becoming a ghost, and then the Ghostbusters had to fight it, and I drew the whole thing out, and then I had my mother write the words because I couldn't write yet, and it like that was like the earliest memory of just doing something artistic, making a story, and then around 4th grade, I met a kid that was like a prodigy at art. And he, I don't know what it looked like now, but then he was like, oh. So it made it grow into me. And then by the time I was 11, I would that's all I wanted to do was just draw, tell a good story. Yeah, so it's there, it's ingrained in me, but it woke up in 4th grade, basically.
4th grade?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can still only draw the turkey hands as my artistic style.
This day, I still can't draw the turkey hand, so it's fine.
You know what though? I think anybody can draw. It's just you got to put the time in. Because I try to draw on my left hand, and I draw like I was when I was 4 or 5 with my hand. Like, so I understand that if I train that hand, I can do it. And that's anybody can train your hand. You just have to put the time in.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously the turkey in Ghostbusters and Turtles, but, was there other sparks in your early age that made you go, like something you pick up or see a poster or comic, go and try to like replicate it or continue the spark that you had?
It's so much because they used to sell comics and everywhere. You can go to like Walgreens and stuff like that, and they have like a little rack for comics. So I was always looking at art and trying to. I like to go in and like get I used to get like Spider-Man comics, and then I would redraw them, but I'll do them in my character. I was too vain to draw other people's characters, but I was still the poses, and then draw that into my comics. So it was so much. Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War was one of those things that jumped me. Batman versus Predator, The Killing Joke. Shoot, I've had so many comics, but it's always been comics that really spark my spark my creative flow.
So you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s then, because some of those comics that you're mentioning right there are things that I remember from when I was a kid. So I was like,
yeah.
Yep, I was born in 82, so probably around 90 I was getting into it.
Okay. That tracks.
Yeah. I can see that too, kind of your art style. And Phil knows I'm not a very big anime person, but you seem to be influenced a little bit by anime. Is that?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. How did I forget? Yeah. So like my godfather would go and get he go to China and he bring back stuff. So I would see like Dragon Ball when it was early on.
Yeah.
Bootleg stuff, and so Dragon Ball like hit me early. I'll be I'm in 3rd grade and I'll be late for school trying to watch one episode of Dragon Ball, second class in 3rd grade. And so Dragon Ball was a huge thing. Like even in my comic, you probably see some Dragon Ball homage. And then I don't know if y'all remember Robot Carnival on Sci-Fi Channel. I think it was called Robot Carnival.
I've said it many times that a lot of my anime like origins started off with that early morning Sci-Fi Channel stuff. Like I would watch Guyver.
Yes.
Yeah, they had so much stuff on there, and yeah, it was Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
Tank Police. There's a lot of stuff. I love what's his name? Mazmoon Shiro. Like I love all his artwork. That's the dude that did Ghost in the Shell. I didn't like the movies, but I liked his comic, his manga.
The manga, yeah.
And then coming up now, I'm like a One Piece fanatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren from the chat says your character reminds of the Guyver, which is I agree. I like Guyver just because it's so sci-fi and horror oriented a lot. So that's the anime that I do watch is geared on that way. So it's my anime world is growing a little bit. So
hey, shout out to Darren. He the one to hook me up with y'all, so I appreciate him.
Yeah. Shout out to Darren Chibi. We love you, man.
Oh yeah.
My comic is very sci-fi horror. Very I got a lot of different elements in it. I'm trying to work on the comedy. I don't think I'm that funny. But I'm trying, But it's a lot of blood and guts and violence.
Hey, we're okay with that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right on.
So
Graveyard's motto is more blood, more guts.
I thought I watch bad movies, so you don't have to.
That's right. That's your other motto.
It is. But with the sci-fi and horror, do you look at anything in particular for inspiration? Do you steer towards anime? Do you kind of take stuff from like the classic 80s, live action, practical effects?
I think that I probably just see stuff, like just stuff just comes to mind. I mean, yeah, horror. Shoot, I'm a horror person, so like I sit in my studio and I'll just look at horror in the background while I'm drawing, But I'm loving a lot of the like one thing that really hits me is I mean just on Facebook, somebody will post like a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook of just crazy, horrible Japanese monster art, and that is I have to take pictures of it because I not that I want to steal it, but I want to kind of have it in my head that some of these weird creatures that they have.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I mean, is there, and Phil knows this question I ask a lot, is with the blood and gore and stuff like that in horror, do you ever have to pull yourself back from being too graphic in anything you do?
No, not that I don't ever pull myself back. So I don't really worry about that. The only thing I do keep out is, like naked ladies and stuff like that. Other than that, everything gonna go in, language and everything.
Good. I mean, that's Phil's right. The more gore, the better for me. I just I eat that up to no end.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what about personal influences for you as artists? Other artists that you follow? Do you follow anyone in particular? Is someone that you just go, I have to read everything that they do?
Honestly, like at this point, is what's his name? The guy who created One Piece. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but like I love everything that man makes. Like I said, I do like I'll read anything Masamune Shirow comes out with. But yeah, I mean honestly, like lately it's been One Piece. Like it just it's just like I'm eating up every other week. Every week it comes out, I'm like reading that. But oh yeah, it's getting to me. So there's another manga out or series now. They're doing it's what is it called? What is it called? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. It's they got Chainsaw Man.
Oh
and
yeah,
there's another one. What is it?
Chainsaw Man is massive right now.
Yeah, it's a trip, but it's some of the concepts in there are kind of like they're in my book, and I'm like, oh my god, like oh my god, now people gonna think that they did it, So that's kind of the funny thing. I have a few characters that I have like evidence that I made these characters like when I was a child. And I'm like worried that let me show you real quick.
Yeah.
So this is something I created when I was like 10, right? Can you see it? Dang. I don't know. Let me see.
That's a little lost out.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. Yeah, it's green. Dang it. Okay.
Oh.
Well, so it's funny around the time that Naruto came out.
Mm-hmm.
So that character is supposed to be. I drew that with like when I was a little kid, and he's a doctor, and he's also he's like snakish, like he has snake powers. So then all of a sudden, Naruto comes out, and then they have the evil snake scientist dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like a Orochimaru.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh! So a lot of the concepts are so this last one I was just watching over the weekend. This is character in one of the Japanese animes that's coming out, and he can manipulate the bodies of people and use them as weapons. And I have a character like that, and that character is like 15 years old. 20. And I'm like, oh! But I'm just gonna keep going forward.
Yeah.
I'll let people say I'm stealing, but
I gotta watch out for those cameras and bugs in your place. So, is this your first comic? Is Jay your first comic book?
Yeah, it is. It is. I probably over the years I've worked on several things for people, but nothing that came out big. So Jay is my baby. I created this like the original concept art is from like 96.
Oh, wow.
And originally it was supposed to be a Dragon Ball Z ripoff, basically. Like but it was just set in Oakland. And now it's like a whole nother thing. I got only like one of the characters is the same. And like I have a whole bunch of different power types. I have like I have a vampire. His name is Vlad. He isn't in the series yet, but if you decide you want to read it and keep up with it, just do it. It's tough, but he's like he has Blackula rules. Which you ever seen Blackula?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Shitty. I couldn't stand it. Because he was so like he was punching the cops and the cops was punching him back. It was weird. I was like, dang, why he gotta be like that? And he could only make vampire zombies, which is annoying because at the end of the movie he kills himself over a zombie. Like it was dumb. So I made it in my world. Everybody got Blackula rules. There's only a few vampires, and they can only make zombies. So one of the characters, one of my heroes coming out, his name is Vlad, and he has the ability, he can make zombies, but he loves them all. And whenever he fights with them, he can like manipulate their bodies into whatever he needs. But if he can't fly, but if he needs a jetpack, he can manipulate their body and use the gases in their bodies to fly and things like that.
Oh wow.
Huh. Yeah.
That's it.
I can't wait to put him out there.
So are you also the writer then as well for your comic?
Yeah, I do everything.
You do everything. So it's just you're a one-man team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can't get anybody to commit. A good writer.
Yeah. So Darren in chat wants to, with you being your sole person doing this, how long did it take to create the first issue then, from kind of start to finish?
The first issue probably took, I mean, with work and everything, it took about a year because I have another job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it just depends on how much time I take. Because I can knock out several pages, and I can knock out a page in a day pretty much. But I'm like I like to rework it. I like to change scenes, so it just varies.
So what kind of made you take the plunge then into doing your own solo comic?
Remember I said I'm vain. So I've always wanted to do it. I always knew I'm going to be a comic artist.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a matter of time for me to create something that I thought was worth a real story, because I've made like 1 billion characters coming out. One of my first characters was Super Flea, and and he was like a flea that was mutated, Ninja Turtles. And
Yes.
but now, even though I made that when I was like, I don't know, 10,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be in the comic at some point. Just so that's kind of just how it works.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a character that would fit in that universe, though, with like, I forgot his name, but the hyena character.
Yeah. That's Ant, and Ant, like you said, he's a were hyena. He's my favorite. He's supposed to be me. That was supposed to be me when I was younger. So I love hyenas and things like that, and I like werewolves and all that. So I just mixed it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that caught me with that character was that's the first time I've ever heard of anybody making a were hyena.
I appreciate that.
That's a captivating concept. It's like a were hyena. Okay.
Yeah. I made him bad, man. He grew. I've been working that character for a long time, and this is finally his final form. And I'm excited to some of the fights that he's going to be able to have, and also the comedy of him being an idiot. Like I kind of want that to shine through. But he's also
it's funny. He's an idiot. He can make any weapon, but he has to make something that has a triangle blade because he's an idiot.
Yeah. but I want him to be vicious too. So I'm looking forward to more fights with him. I actually have a good fight coming up in the next book, where it's going to be just be him being who he is. You get to see Fatima do her thing. Fatima, she's the voodoo priestess with the dolls. So I look forward to showing her power, what she can do with her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Jay is he's just the main character, and Jay he's all chemical based, but I'm gonna give him the ability to do these chemical reactions in his hands. So that's coming up.
So I gotta ask this about Jay. The powers that he gets, is it based on the drug that gives him the powers, or is it
No.
that has nothing to do with it?
No, it's so for me to really deeply talk about it, is a mythology behind it's like a deep mythology in the background.
Right, and then don't give away like any like major spoilers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we want people to buy the book.
Yeah. So, but basically, he has something. You know that glow in his forehead. I don't know. Did I put it in this picture? Let's see. No, I didn't. But he has a glow like on issue 1, and it basically is something in his brain that gives him the ability to pretty much create whatever he wants. And has the same thing. And many other people will throughout the series will have the same thing. But there's a whole nother something else going on. So while he was trying to save the world, there's something else which y'all kind of saw in the first book. There's something else kind of pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the catalyst. I get a lot of people like when I talk about the drug, they go, "Oh, I'm sick of black comics with drugs. Why we got to do that?" But it's not about the drug. It's just the catalyst. So yeah. So no, he is not drug based, but a lot of villains will have drug based abilities. When you OD on it, if you overuse it, you start to mutate, and those things will be kind of connected. Your vices will be kind of connected to what you mutate into.
Interesting.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
I like that. I really do. So Darren wants to know, with the fight scenes, do you study anything martial arts movies, or do you go back to your Japanese anime for your fight scenes and ideas to how to choreograph and stuff like that?
You know what? I was a boxer for several years. I got 2 titles.
Oh wow!
In San Francisco, and I got a fighting background, so I don't necessarily go to watch other people or to look to steal it. I just do what I feel,
Mm-hmm.
But then I also like to act it out, see if it's anatomically correct. So that's how I go.
I'd like to see behind the scenes of you figuring out how the were hyena fights.
I'm sure our paths have crossed at some point because I was a boxer out of San Francisco. So I mean, like,
Okay.
at some point we had to have crossed it, like, especially in that community.
Yeah. You remember Fairtex?
Oh yeah, of course. Fairtex is one of the most famous gyms in San Francisco.
Yeah, I trained out of there.
Okay.
So yeah, my coach. Well, I had a coach from Oakland, and he would bring me up there because I knew Alex Gong before he died, the guy who brought it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I love to meet other martial artists out there, boxers and everything else.
That's awesome. I think it's great. We've talked to other people too that they like to act out and stage and choreograph the panels. I find that really interesting and something I never ever would have thought about when creating a comic.
Oh yeah, you don't remember like looking at like old Disney like how they do their things, stuff like from the 50s, and they would show the guys with the mirror in the mirror going
Yeah.
doing all that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same concept. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take a picture to try to get it correctly, and sometimes I fail. So sometimes it don't look right.
That's pretty cool though, just to hear behind the scenes stuff of stuff like that. I like hearing stuff all the time of how stuff gets made, inspiration, stuff like that. But I also know that you do artwork on top of comic books as well. So, without picking a necessarily favorite, what do you prefer, your comic book art or your other art, your gallery art?
Oh, comic art.
Comic art?
Yeah. Gallery art is was kind of just brought to me, and the lady was like, I'm thinking, oh, nobody want to. I don't do paintings and stuff, and the lady's like, you can do it in your style, and I was like, okay, and I did it, and it was actually nice, and I was like, okay, it'll work, but it's more my wife pushing me to do something more than something more lucrative than comic art.
Because if you know anything about the comic world, it's more passionate than there's anything.
Mm-hmm. Jared, no, I'm not into realism. It takes too much. I can do it, but it takes so much time. I get mad at myself if it ain't looking right away, so I don't do it.
Yeah. So I know with you loving manga and anime and stuff like that, do you ever envision your series becoming its own manga or animated show or movie?
Definitely. I think Jay will be an excellent cartoon series. And hey, if somebody pay me, shoot, I'll get it out there and be doing it. We'll have a whole manga series because I really want to go like 1 million books. Like I would do that. Like I would work on that. I just need somebody to pay me to do it.
That's the $1 million question right there, right? Will you pay me to do what I love to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you like it enough that you would pay me to do it? Yeah, that's what I want. I want people to like it. I'm working hard.
So with that in mind, that you're saying you're doing a million, series, right? Are they separated out into a series? Like you can do like a 7-book series and then go, or just can go, the classic, say X-Men 1 through 1 million.
Yeah, I'm gonna do arcs, but it'll all be in the same thing. So I'm gonna have the villain of the month or the year, however I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll work, and that'll be one arc. We'll keep going like that. The only way I'll switch it up is if I get another artist and they want to do their own thing with their own character with my characters,
mm-hmm.
then I can let them, branch, into something else. But my path will be just story arc after story arc.
That's so you don't have, without spoiling anything and telling any plans. Will you ever see a character that you like that was a side character kind of getting their own spin-off down the line?
Definitely. If somebody would like that, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, yeah, I love to do that.
Because with all the villains that you're talking about, especially the mutations and the animal hybrids, you're like a Legion of Doom, but a legion of creatures.
Oh yeah. There's definitely going to be so one of the other things is kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where if you're strong enough mentally or your heart's strong enough in the game, you can kind of overcome the mutation and control it. So there's going to be people like that out there that have their own agendas, and they can team up if they have to. It just depends on where the story goes.
Right. That's cool. And Darren, that's a really good question that I want to ask too. Is obviously you met through a convention. What's it been like, and how long you been doing the convention scene with these comics?
It's been a good. I've been probably doing it since like 2000 and I say 10 or 11. I started out with a 0 first, and I was trying to sell that. And then as I started making more books, I started to get more out there or to do more. And now, like right now, my wife is cool with it, so we'll go all around and do it whenever I can find one. I was gonna do San Diego Comic Con, but I didn't get in fast enough, so I'm gonna miss it for this year. So maybe 2005. I'll try 25. I'll go. Yeah.
And then also, did you also sell fan art at Comic Con?
I did, but I got more from my comic than I did from the fan art. Rarely did anybody buy my fan art, so I stopped. And I don't like fan art. I'm vain, so I don't really want to do fan art. I was just listening to other people,
Mhm.
and yeah, didn't make me any money.
Somebody else telling you should do this, you'll sell a bunch of X, Y, and Z. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Every once in a while I'll find something like I was drawing Steven Universe characters, and yeah, nobody was buying. I did a few game stuff, nothing worked. So I just said, okay, well, fine. I didn't want to do it anyway. So
you know what I did notice is there is a very similar look and feeling in your characters to like Aaron Magruder. Is there any influence from Aaron Magruder in your in any of your work?
no, I think not Aaron Magruder. I think maybe you're thinking about like the guys who do the show, not the comics, because the comic strips. Yeah, so that's more like what's dude? There's a few different artists that do that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think what it is just the Afro stuff, the hair, certain elements like that.
Because it's more like almost like with the hair specifically, it's almost like the boxy look of it, right? Where it's not, it's not like it's almost textured, but not at the same time. But it's like getting the feeling of black hair.
Yeah. I like I try to keep the black hair with everybody else that's in there, but then like he's messed up, so he does like you saw. I don't know if you saw in the first book, but when you see Fatima getting ready to shoot Joe from the tree, and you see that guy in the background, what do you see like a round afro, and then after their fight, you see this is what happens to him. So Ant is like he's in an in-between state of being a were hyena and being a regular human. So that's why his hair looks like that.
Gotcha.
But everybody else, I try to give them non-anime, hair that looks like that. So we work. I guess maybe it ain't following through. A lot of people say, "Oh, you drawing anime,"
Well, like, and it's not even that saying like anime. Like the anime influences are going to be more things like you have a couple female characters that have they have the white masks, right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's a very anime influence. Like you can tell looking at that it was influenced by anime. Not that it's anime, but it's very influenced just by the character design.
You're absolutely right. Yep. It permeates. It permeates it. I'm trying to keep it, pay homage to it, but not follow it so hard to a T. And I think that's probably why somebody might say I draw like the Boondocks. I do get that. I think it's more it puts you in the mind of Boondocks, not necessarily that it looks like it, but it reminds certain things reminded. And honestly, I'm sure I've been what do you call it? Somewhere in my head, like if I say in my head, no, I'm not doing the Boondocks, but I'm sure there's some kind of influence from it,
Yeah, because that's really what I see is more of like there's like a slight influence that's in there where there's similarities in some of the ways that the characters look.
Yeah.
Where it's like almost an anime look, but it's not anime,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah. This book pays homage to a lot of different stuff, and anime is going to be, because that's probably what I read more than anything at this point. Mm-hmm. There's actually going to be some One Piece. There's a lot of One Piece in here, honestly. If you look at Jay's mouth, I did that on accident, and I was like, why did I do that? Because that looks like a mouth in One Piece.
Oh.
So yeah, sometimes the art just does it. Like Jay has a twin sister. He's saying she wants to be called a brother, so he calls her a brother, but she's his sister. And they're twins, and I've never been able to make them look the same. And but they always look like themselves from the beginning. So I'm not even controlling their design. They're controlling their design.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so we have a couple of good questions here too. With you being the one man shop, are you self-published then?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, through Comics Wellspring.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has that been a good experience for you?
Definitely with the books. Definitely with the book. I want to get some more people to go online and purchase the comics.
Mm-hmm.
But for like them printing my books for me, it's been great.
That's awesome. I know people struggle sometimes with publishers and have to shop around, but yeah, I'm glad it's working out.
Yeah.
Right on. You didn't hear nothing bad about
No.
Okay.
I know one other person that publishes through Comics Wellspring, and he's had nothing but good things to say about it. So
yeah, I like it.
And Darren wants to know as well, because he's working on his books as well. How do you get the copyright to your characters?
You just got to go through to the Library of Congress, and basically, is you can put the whole story in. You need artwork and origins. You can put everything in that, and it's like $80 last time I looked, and it's yours after that. But not the name. The name is trademark, and you can't trademark it for some reason. I'm not even sure why, but they won't let you trademark your name. So I'm not sure exactly why, because I've tried before. But yeah, it doesn't work that way. So, but your characters and everything will be fine, as well as your title, apparently. So yeah,
that's cool. That's good information, because as Phil knows, especially talking to a lot of independent comic creators, with the horror stuff I want to eventually work into a comic, and I want to be myself, my co-host, go into the B movie universe of B horror movies and just try to skate that line of not copyright infringement.
that's got to be like the overall joke inside of it. Is like, like almost like in Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's a TV safe knockoff version of a horror character from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun. That's always fun. Yeah.
Oh, scary Terry, bitch.
Yeah.
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna encounter Eddie Finger Knives.
He has miniature swords for hands instead of knives for fingers.
Yep. And Jason, Jayson. That's my goal, is just to be as outrageous as humanly possible with it, and just poke the fun out of everything, because I love it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Oh yeah. So tell us a little bit, shifting subjects here, about Crumbbum Kids.
Well, Crumbbum's Kids is what I brought. I was trying to basically just get kids to like art early and learn how to do a sequential art early. So my house is a daycare. My wife, that's her business. So our whole place is just decked out with stuff for children. So basically, the kids come over, I read them a story, and then I let them create their own little sequential art pieces, paint and everything like that. And then we have a playground. So they just, it's just a fun little few hours with the kids. But cool. It's currently I'm down now. I'm not doing it.
That's good. I think kids need that encouragement and that ability to have that, because honestly, I feel like, because we're about the same age growing up, is that you didn't really have that community that for artists and stuff like that. It was kind of, you had to go really off the beaten path to find anyone really into that, because while we all love comics growing up, there weren't that many kids that I can remember that like to draw for comics and stuff like that. That the passion that you had at such a young age.
Right.
Huh. That's interesting because I always felt like, and I'm not trying to knock anything. I never heard anybody else really talk about the lack of those things when they were a kid. And I always contributed that I thought black people just didn't like comics like that for a long time. So like in Oakland, I didn't see, there wasn't too many other black people that did it. Like I said, now I'm seeing it from a whole nother perspective. So that's actually pretty interesting. When I went to
a lot of times for our communities though, like it's also, you know, we live in very macho communities, you know what I mean? Like
definitely
the issue with us, especially like, you know, me being, I'm a Hispanic kid from the mission, right? So it's like, you know, in those communities, you couldn't tell people I like comic books because they'll probably make fun of you, or in a lot of our communities, we might get jumped. You know, like hey, beat your ass just because you like that kid shit, and they just beat your ass, right?
Yeah.
So you had to hide it a lot of times. You had to hide that you were a nerd, you know, because if you were out there telling everybody I'm a nerd kid, you know, they would get beat up just because you like what you like, and now it's more acceptable to like things that you like, you know. So it's like, you know, nowadays you can see a lot more of that branching out and a lot more encouragement in it too. And people like you encouraging people to enjoy the things they like and to get into art at a young age is good overall for the community, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm from Chicago, and you know, in the late '80s and '90s, there's only one thing on every Chicago person's mind, and that was the Bulls. So you always had to play sports. That's all you could do as a kid was play sports. Couldn't sit there and read. I couldn't read comics growing up. I couldn't watch cartoons or anything like that. So it was that's the way I was raised. Is that sports oriented before anything nerdy.
Yeah.
I played football just so that I could mask that I was going home and watching anime and reading comics. I mean, like,
I was so self-centered that I was just authentically me all the time. But then that's where my aunt come in, because I could be vicious if I had to. So I would walk around thinking about dumb stuff in Oakland, and you know, I didn't have a lot of people to you know, talk about the nerdy stuff. And apparently I thought I was a nerd, but everybody telling me, no, I wasn't. So it's weird. You know, I'd be asking like, I was a nerd when we was kids, right? No, you wasn't. So I felt like a nerd. But I didn't have, like, I mean, just growing up in Oakland, you had to fight. So, you know, whether just because they just didn't like the way I looked, we might just have a fight. So
right, especially in Oakland, you have block wars, right? So it's just kind of like, you know, it's you know, you walk in the wrong neighborhood. It's the same thing growing up in the Mission. Right? You walk onto the wrong street, you know, and you're not wearing the right color, or you're wearing the right color, but you're not a part of, like, you know, you can't claim a set or something. You can get your ass kicked.
Right. So yeah, I didn't hide anything from my nerdiness. But I was just ready to knuckle up if I had to, and that's what would happen, you know. But I was never like, it always was strange to me that people would want to come and beat me up, you know. Like, it was just like, what? I'm not even doing nothing to you, you know. So it was just, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, like I said,
the Marine Corps makes more and more sense.
Yeah. I was good there, yeah.
But like I said, that just kind of goes back, is that I love the idea that you creating that creative outlet for kids. That, you know, I wish everyone had the opportunity to be able to go and do something that interests them from a young age, to encourage them to grow and become the individual, to become the independent artists, to become the independent filmmakers and stuff like that too. Is just to explore your creativity instead of being a cog in the machine. Yeah.
It was fun. We had a lot of fun, and it was fun reading to the kids and doing all the, you know, playing with voices, and it was a very creative time, and, you know, hopefully we get it up and running soon.
And it's like, you know, talking about like creatives in places like that. I mean, you know, the same environment that created Crumbbum, the artist, also created Ryan Coogler. So I mean, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's the inspirational cat right there. Yeah.
So
I'm sure, especially being from Oakland, you know, like
Mhm.
he's a dude that made his way out of Oakland, right? So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I said, I keep saying it. I was self-centered. I'm still self-centered. So I never had a lot of trouble when it came to doing those things, and I made it out easily. I'm in the Bay Area still, and I don't know. It's just it's something that for me, Oakland was never that as vicious as they said. You just had to fight. That was just part of it, you know. And and as an adult now, I'm not even I don't have any. I'm not shell shocked from Oakland, you know.
To be honest with you, I never thought Oakland was as bad as everybody said it was too. But I mean, like, you know, it's funny. It's funny when you hear people like, you know, my grandmother lived on Fruitvale, right? So it's like you hear about like how bad Fruitvale is, and of course Fruitvale Station and everything like that. And it's like, I mean, I grew up going to Fruitvale. I was never afraid to walk around there, or like walking around the Mission. I was never afraid to walk around the Mission. You know?
Yeah. It's just you just can't. I think it works for everywhere, but you just can't be walking around looking game goofy and looking weird. People will leave you alone. If you just have your face, your mean mug, and you walk, and people are gonna leave you alone. But you like looking like an idiot, then people might come after you. You know, if you look weak.
I've said this to my wife in the past is don't look like a target, because if you look like a target, you make yourself a target.
Right. Exactly.
So here's $1 million question: if you were able to cast in the live action your characters, who would your top picks be?
Woo! Well, like I said, I'm vain, so I gotta be Ant. I'll just go lose some weight, put on some muscles.
You were a Marine, man. You could do it.
Yeah. And who would play Jay? Jay would be. I'm gonna give it to dude that played Kane. Jonathan Majors. I'm gonna give him the work. I think he'd be a perfect Jay. He got that bigger face, not less pointy chin. He got the face for it. And then Fatima, that's a hard one. Maybe I would do. Let me think. I don't know who I do. Yeah, I have to think about her. I don't know. I can't really think of nobody offhand that got the same energy that she has. And that would do the character justice. It'd have to be some unknown.
There you go. But you said Jay had a twin sister, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you have Jonathan Major wear a wig to play the twin sister?
Oh, no, dude. No, I couldn't do it. That'd be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare.
Do a CG Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, I think for his sister, I would probably do Megan Good.
Oh God, Megan Good, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about a woman that was like my childhood crush, right?
I think she was everybody's childhood crush. Yeah,
like it was funny, like when before you realized she was like as bad as she was, like when she first came out as like an independent actress, like wait, you mean the chick from Cousin Skeeter?
Mm-hmm. What she did that other one, Eve's Bayou. I remember from Cousin Skeeter, but Eve's Bayou when I saw she could act, and I like that. And I can't think. I mean, I have so many characters, but in the first, I can't think of who I would do as Fatima right now. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Well, you got to prep for the future. You got to start making your Tarantino want list that he would always make, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna really think about that one. I get that character too precious, so I don't want to do it wrong. So it's my baby.
Awesome, man. Let's see here. So, I mean, if you were to pitch this, have you thought about pitching this to anyone about making this into a manga or a series?
So I talked to somebody who's about putting it to like a Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had the pitch. I pitch it out so much, just the story, just to try to get sales when I do the conventions and stuff.
Right.
So I do need to. I started working on the Bible for anime, but then I stopped because I was like, let's work on the comic, get the comic out there, get a good story arc, let people see what it is, and then, then I start working back when I have time on that Bible.
But that's also not bad either, because I mean, then at that point you can create a buzz with the characters,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now.
Sweet. What's the conventions like? What's been the kind of reception to your series so far?
A lot of people. I mean, I'm not like crazy selling, but what I do get is a lot of people when they hear about it, when they start hearing about Ant, when they hear about Fatima and their powers and things like that, they go, "Oh, that's hecka interesting," and they like my enthusiasm about it, And I sell pretty good. And then I get to meet a lot of different types of people and get their game, Like I met one guy, he was telling me you need to do podcasts, start doing podcasts. Talking about the story. So I said, okay. And that's why. And then, like I said, Darren hit me up to y'all. So I was like, okay, this will be my first one. So yeah, I'm trying to get the story out, let more people know.
Oh wait, so we popping your cherry? Were your first podcast?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
We're honored.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. As Darren says, your banner that got his attention at Veteran Comic Con.
Right on. Yeah, thank you, Darren.
And you did graphic design work for Veteran Comic Con too, right?
A few things. I did like some buttons. A few things. I was there. Like I'm on their. I did like an interview for them on their website and stuff. So yeah, I even taught some classes for them.
Okay.
Nice. Now, speaking of classes, did you ever get into any formal artwork training by chance in your life?
Yeah, so I can say in high school, got into a big fight, and my dad moved me closer to home, and I went to Oakland High, and Oakland High has the VANT program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all for the artists, and they give you a lot of formal training there, make you do stuff you never do, metalworking and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I don't want to metalwork, but I had to do it. I learned how. And then after I got out, then I got out of the military. I went back to college at Georgia Academy of Art, Academy of Art, Georgia, and yeah, I got my training for animation there.
Okay, that's in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. And do you feel, because we talked to someone before that never went to art school? Do you feel like it was a good investment for anyone that really wants to do this with the passion that you have?
I think college is always going to be a good a good thing because it teaches you how to work. It teaches you how to work under stress when in deadlines. It teaches you how to think, and then it polishes you too. So you come with natural talent, and then the people that's been doing it, that's been in the industry, they polish you up so you're ready. While you don't really need college, you can really just teach yourself to do art, but you're not going to be as polished as you would be, I think, without some formal training. Definitely.
Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, clear, did it teach you how to create your were hyena?
No, but no, that's the natural talent.
Right.
But it told me how to make my were hyena pop and things like that, you know. But yeah, but don't go to a specialty school. I would say that's never. Don't if you just go to the UC around where you live and get your diploma there and spend a quarter of what you would at a specialty college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, it's awesome talking to independent comic creators and kind of where every part of life they came from and where they got introduced into the comic world. Because we've talked to some people that started at a young age, had always had a love for art like yourself, and then people that had written stories and then go, okay, I will learn how to draw now in my 20s
mm-hmm.
to then create the comic book going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to hear really how everyone comes into this world as we know it.
Yeah. I think too, it's just like when I said, I had to do metal work in high school. They make you do stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do in college. So you learn, like, now I can write a script because of college, you know, things like that. So stuff that's harder to do without some kind of formal training. Yeah, you can do it, but you kind of know better when somebody can instruct you.
Right. Now for your series, do you have a script like written out, to your million episodes, or you kind of just, I'm sure you have an outline of where you want the arc to go overall. So what's that process like from creating the script that you have to then creating the arc within the comic?
So I do a full-on script first as I go, but then I also have my little my plot kind of map. So I have it on my wall, and so I have my story beats and cues and everything else just mapped out. But I have it for like several years. So I'll have a path of where I want to go. I know where I'm going, but then I'll freestyle it because, like I said, the characters are going, the characters are doing it. I'm just kind of recording it. So it just depends on what they want to do. That's how I feel. So it's a little bit of order, but a lot of chaos in the middle.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
It really is. Like I said, it's interesting to talk to people that do the one-man shop that are in charge of everything. I can't imagine having to do all of that myself, quite honestly. But
yeah, I wish I could find a good writer, because I'm not the best, but I love to draw. So.
That's awesome.
Going to more conventions, can also help you find, a writer that fits your style. Because you never want to, bring somebody in that's going to completely change what it is that you're creating.
Definitely. Yeah, I can write. Like I said, I can do scripts and things like that. So I'll definitely have a lot more hands in that writing spot. But I do like somebody that can play with a story and add their gusto to it too, and make it more coherent than I can. Like I'll write something and then I'll be like, oh, this is not good, and then I'll have to go back and redo it. Yeah, so it's it's a fine line and a hard line.
Now, do you, with you writing and being the artist, do you write out the scenes to remember where you want the scene to be when you're doing the artwork? Then,
no, I do roughs. That's why.
Okay.
So I just straight up do a rough, and I see what I see where I want them, and then as I'm going through it, then so I do the roughs, and then I do the words.
Okay.
Then I go back, and then I darken it out, then I ink it, and that's how it usually works.
It's awesome. So, looking at your stuff, I really love, the thicker black edges of the characters and stuff like that too. That really does make them pop a lot.
Right on. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going for that. I'm trying to have my own style. I think I got it. I think I'm distinctive now. Yeah, and the black lines just came naturally. Those thick ones like that.
And Darren, so did you write like a screenplay or a theatrical play?
No, never. I learned it in college, and I just put it into how I in my creative process. No, I never done a play, nothing like that.
Awesome. Phil,
Well,
yeah.
So let's start getting into these wrap up questions here. So I'm gonna ask you again, and then this one's a different style of difficult. So I'm gonna ask you the most difficult question anybody's ever asked you in your life.
Okay,
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. What is your favorite kind of taco?
My favorite tacos is turkey, ground turkey, with black beans. What is it? Guacamole, salsa, cheese, sour cream. That's how I make them.
Okay. So basically, in place of ground beef, you use ground turkey.
Mm-hmm. And I've been doing it so long, it don't taste good with ground beef to me anymore.
Oh, I use ground chicken and ground turkey just because you can impart more flavor onto that meat.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, I actually use ground turkey myself. Like when I make tacos at home too. So I mean, I'm not against that at all.
Yeah. The flavor is better honestly than the beef for me.
Oh yeah.
So what's some advice you might have for somebody who's trying to get into the industry, trying to kind of follow in your footsteps, aside from the advice that you've already given?
I think for something, you create. You got to make something. So one of the biggest things for me is trying to be perfect, and it stifles you. You're writing a story out, okay, and then you go back, oh, I don't like the way I did this. I want to do it like this. And after a while, you don't get nothing done. So one of the best advice I can give you is just to finish it. Stop worrying about if it ain't good enough and just finish something. You finish something, you can always go back and retcon, or you can think of something better, but you gotta finish. Don't get stuck. And then of course, anatomy class. Get your anatomy class, and understand that people look down on comic artists. They don't think we like legitimate, but you got to be able to draw any and everything. Right. That puts you above the rest. Whatever's called for, you got to be able to draw that. So be proud.
Yeah, I like that's great advice. It really is.
Lawrence Iriarte gave something similar, saying it's actually a good idea to take anatomy classes if you're to be an artist.
Definitely. Even now, like I'm going back to college just to do it, and I'm going just for to do life drawing. So the live model and everything is a must.
Yeah, because it may not be the art that you're going for, but it does inform and help you kind of it makes you kind of improve on your art style.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We just lost was it last year or not too long ago, Kim Jong-gi.
Yeah.
And that man could do anything from any angle. I mean, he's obviously a savant, but the level of anatomy on his stuff you can only get from looking at people and drawing them.
Absolutely. So this is a more of a personal question here.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, Jay or Bruce Leroy?
I'm gonna give it to Jay just because the power levels is different. Bruce Leroy, he's tough and all that, but the power level is just so Jay got super strength. He already superhuman. He got the ability to make any weapon he can think of in his hand, and he also can create chemical reactions in the palms of his hand. So just as off of that, you put dynamite in your hand and hit the glow, it's probably gonna break. His glow wasn't that thick, So I don't think he's gonna make it.
It's Jay's power is over 9,000. So let's just just leave it be.
Yeah. All respect to Bruce, all respect to him. But yeah, it's just not fair.
Right. Like, who's a super powered martial artist? And I was like, oh, you know what? And it's a black centric character. Let's do Bruce Leroy. Bruce Leroy was a badass.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Yeah.
I'm saying we can't get another one.
Like underrated movie for anyone who has not seen The Last Dragon. You're missing out on life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can't wait till my son's old enough so we can watch it.
Gonna be good.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, man? You got any cons coming up? Anything that you're doing anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. Right now is trying to get number 4 out. So I'm working on number 4. And I'm probably maybe the halfway point of the year will I start, because I did like 6 last year. So I'm probably gonna go for maybe 4 this year. I'm thinking. But I want to like just work on my comic. Issue 4.
Okay.
Awesome.
So where can everybody find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they learn more about Crumbbum the artist?
So you can go to crumbbumtheartist.com. And that has a lot of my artwork, everything that I do. If you got any questions, and then we also have I also have my Instagram, so you see all my artwork, what I've been working on. So I can always use some likes and new friends on there, because I'm hearing that's how you get on at this point. Is you need to have a huge following on Instagram. So if anybody want to follow me on there, please do. And then of course, my Instagram is the Crumbbum. Oh, you got it right there.
I got it for you.
Right on.
It's also scrolling on the bottom of the screen right there.
For sure. Okay, I see it. Yeah. So, and then of course, you can find me on Facebook right now, and that's Crumbeezy, which is going across the thing right now at Crumbeezy. Yep, and that's pretty much all my little contacts and stuff like that. I have a Twitter, but I don't use it.
Yeah, because I mean,
anyone anymore?
Like who uses that nowadays? Aside from like Nazis.
Oh,
right. right. Yeah. So I'm not having fun there.
Shouldn't have said that. Elon Musk is going to shut us down now.
Oh no. He'll eventually get to you on his truck. Oh wait, no, he won't.
Yeah, no. He's going to bar us from being able to go to Mars.
Oh, no.
He gonna block us for not saying X. We said Twitter, or I said Twitter, so that's it for me.
The X, formerly known as Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody's calling it X. Nobody, like, even Twitter calls itself, like if you get an email from Twitter, it says X, formerly Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he knows nobody wants to call it X.
Right. It's too old. It's too old at this point.
Yeah, man. You know what I forgot? What we forgot to ask you, because this was something that was on my mind, and I really just thought about it right now. Where did the name Crumbbum come from? How'd you come up with that? Was that does that harken back to the military days? Was that pre-military? Because I mean, if you were in the military and you deployed, you have a war name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like
my war name was Debo. Like really,
track so much.
Yeah, the Marine Corps had a lot of characters. So luckily, my actual last name is DeBose McCree. So instead of calling me DeBose McCree, they just called me Debo. And then I hated it at first, but then after several years, I was like, okay, it's good because it kept people from, assholes from messing with me. I ain't messing with Debo. So that worked. Crumbbum is just me trying to have something that people will remember.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've went through several art names and they sucked, and then one day it just came up Crumbbum, and I was like, huh. I mean, at the least somebody remember that, you know. And yeah, I get it. People, I go to conventions like, oh, I know who you are already, Crumbbum. Like, yeah. So
Yeah, Crumbbum the artist.
Yeah. So that's how it's just I just wanted it to be a memorable name.
Gotcha. Okay. Debo is a much better name than what I got.
What'd you get?
My last name is Foray. Looks like fairy. So you can already see kind of like where this is leading to, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually. So in this whole story, nobody made fun of my name my entire career until my deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, at that point, I was a specialist. I was a team lead, and so we're getting, we just landed at Bagram. We're being brought to post and basically to the fob, and the NCO that's escorting us, you know, he looks over at me and he goes, "Ferry, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh God, here it comes!" Like everybody just starts laughing because it was like we all know the story. I had been waiting my entire career at that point for somebody to make fun of my name, and for some reason it hadn't happened, right? And I was like, "No," I was like, "I got go for it, Sergeant. I've been waiting for this, right?" And he goes, "I'm gonna call you Tinkerbell." And I was like, "Come on, man, Tinkerbell." And he was like, "Think of it like this, man." He goes, "The biggest dude in the yard is usually named Tiny. Nobody wants to get their ass kicked by a big ass dude named Tinkerbell." I was like, "I'll take that. I like that."
Shoot, mine was everybody that it would come there. It would be an epiphany for so many people, and then they'd be all like, "Hey, I'm gonna call you Debo." That's what they did. I even had like the drill instructor do it, just out of nowhere. Like it was this one little dude, he Marine that came up with me through boot camp. He was calling me at first. It was just him, and then one day the drill instructor was like, "Hey, I'm gonna call you Debo," and he was like, "Where's Ezel?" And I'm like, and then I hated it.
Where's Ezel? Oh God.
Yeah, you know how drill instructors are.
Yeah.
And then everything after that, it's just
trying to piss you off.
Yeah, it just stuck. But he's like, "Debo, you think you can kick my ass?" They always want to challenge. You know, "You think you can kick my ass?" "Yes, drill instructor." And then they never want to fight.
Oh man, those are other stories we won't get into. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll Crumbbum, we appreciate you coming on, man,
Yes.
And giving us your story and giving us telling us about your book and everything on here. We're gonna get into the bracket now. Again, you're free to hang out with us and put your votes in. We've got this this ending of the worst video game movies, and then we're gonna start the speedsters. Who is the best speedster? Which I'm sure that'll surprise some people because everybody's automatically thinking the Flash, and I don't think the Flash is gonna. He's not necessarily the fastest guy on there. So
I'm down to stay.
All right, we appreciate it.
All right, so we're not at the final championship yet. We're getting to our top 4 right now. So just quick little recap for anyone who wasn't here and for Crumbbum here. So last week we had, Super Mario Brothers movie, 1993 movie beat out Hitman for being worse. We had and it went up against Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed, the movie, beat out the 93 Mario Brothers for being a worse video game movie.
This Ass Creed is terrible.
Ass Creed is terrible, yes. And then we had Mortal Kombat Annihilation beat out Doom for being a worse movie. We had Blood Rain beat out Mortal Kombat 1995. We had Max Payne beat out Street Fighter, which was a huge upset, I feel, for a lot of people. Wing Commander beat out Alone in the Dark because, U-Bowl still has to be on this list. Rampage beat out House of the Dead. and Far Cry beat
Really?
up Double Dragon. Yeah,
I
for
know,
the worst
right?
one. Yeah. So that's where we're at. So our very first to get to our final four is we have Mortal Kombat Annihilation versus Blood Rain the movie, and which one is the worst video game movie?
I'm going Blood Rain all the way on that.
Yeah, I have to agree.
As much as I hate Mortal Kombat, I do not like that movie. I do not think that it was in any way good because it was very much a let's mash every Mortal Kombat character that exists into this movie. Even if it makes no sense, let's just throw them all in there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah.
Blood Rain was so bad. The writing is bad, the acting is bad, and you have such a good cast.
Yeah.
It's just Blood Rain is just it's a farce.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 that came out in Sega Genesis. So they literally put every fire in the game, and that's what they did with this movie. But my vote is also Blood Rain because that was atrocious, and they made sequels from it as well, like 3 of them because U-Bowl exists.
I don't know why he keeps getting moved. It's like, what studio continues to give him money?
So the secret is he's German and would take all the money and then make it for as cheap as possible to pocket the rest.
And I heard it's like insurance or something. Like, yeah. So if your movie bombs, you get money back because you had insurance on it, and that's how he keeps himself floating.
Right, which is funny because we all know this, and he still gets money to make movies.
That's what it comes down to: is who keeps giving him the money.
I honestly don't know. As someone that likes to help fund indie horror movies, I would never give you a movie for a horror movie.
No,
I would never
not get more money to make movies, but he continues to get more money to make more movies, and they're terrible. He's never made a good movie.
Yeah.
Correct.
I can't think of nothing. No.
So unanimously, Blood Rain moves on. We have 3 people in the chat also say Blood Rain, which is surprising because Annihilation gets a lot of hate, an awful lot of hate.
It does. Annihilation is not a good movie either, but it went up against Yui Bowl, and Yui Bowl is fucking terrible.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And yeah, I mean, Yui Bowl made up about half of this list, so let's face it. All right, so Blood Rain moves on to the final 4. Next up, we have Max Payne, starring good old Marky Mark, versus the star-studded cast of Wing Commander.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we're talking which turd smells worse at this point, right? So it's like, it smells like shit no matter what.
Yes.
But I think if we're going to talk about which one's worse, again, I kind of lean back on the movie that the actors in the movie regretted making.
Sorry,
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Are you sure? You saw the name of Wing Commander and his alarm went off. I mean, that's coming for you now. That put you on Elon Musk's radar right there.
I apologize.
That's fine, man. Wing Commander. Everybody in that cast has talked about how much they regretted making that movie. And they didn't use Mark Hamill, who was in the game. It's
Correct.
like, Mark Hamill.
Correct.
Like, why would you not? It's just, it was so bad. Max Payne, for as shitty as it was, for how much it didn't follow the story in the game, for how much they added that didn't need to be in that, it still wasn't as bad as Wing Commander.
I gotta agree.
Agree with Wing Commander?
Yeah.
Oh no, I might be the breaking tie here because. Oh no, never mind. I mean, yeah, we have 2 votes for Max Payne in the chat. We have 3 for Wing Commander right now. You know what Max Payne got right was its name.
Yeah.
At least Wing
The
Commander
setting.
was I mean, Wing Commander took place in space, and they had spaceships. So I mean, that's more true to the game than Max Payne already was. You know, and we said before when we talked about Max Payne is they didn't do the bullet time. They didn't do they missed the perfect noir movie to make with Max Payne, and they included demons in Max Payne, which has never been this grounded-esque detective story.
Yeah.
You know, yes, and obviously Wing Commander we've discussed before. Mark Hamill was already there. He was ripe for the taking. He already did the VODs. He already did all that stuff for it, and they lost him. They didn't even consult him. There wasn't even an Easter egg. He wasn't even a voice talent in that movie.
Mhm.
And they just kind of looked like, you know, we're going to take the talent of I Know What You Did Last Summer mixed with, you know, Starship Troopers,
Scooby Doo.
and Scooby Doo, and smash it together, and then we'll make the best Razzie movie of 1999 of Wing Commander.
They're like, we need to put something in front of the Star Wars trailer. Yeah, let's just do Wing Commander.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna watch that.
Right. You know I have a love for bad movies, and Wing Commander is a bad movie. I have watched Wing Commander more than Max Payne for sure. So
That actually does say.
what was that?
That actually does say a lot.
Right. But yeah, I will go with Wing Commander, just because it is also very atrocious and disrespects the entire game fully as well. That's, and, you know, in chat there and saying, yeah, Star Wars, you know, Wing Commander's rip off of Star Wars, which is fair, but remember, Star Wars was rip off of something else too.
Right.
You know, I don't want to, you know, upset any nerds here in the chat, but yes,
It is a ripoff of Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon
and Dune.
and Dune. That's right, and Dune. The book, not the movie, because the movie wasn't out yet.
Correct. So yeah, so that being said, Wing Commander does move on and has more votes. Next up, we have the James's favorite movie, Rampage, because it stars The Rock, because he's in love with The Rock, versus Far Cry, another U-Bowl fantastic movie.
God, fucking Dewey Bowl ruining another otherwise potentially good movie. Like, who said it's okay to give him a good franchise to make a shitty movie?
Germany.
Fucking Germany.
What do you think, Crumbbum?
Germany's contributions that need to be revoked. You let Yui Bowl make movies and Hitler.
I think I'm like at a loss with these ones because I don't understand it. It got to be something monetary. Like, why would he? Why do they let him do it? It's something. There is something going on that we're not getting, and I think back to like Kevin Smith talking about writing for Batman or writing for Superman? Y'all ever heard that story?
Yeah.
Spider and stuff. So maybe that's it too. Just people with money that want to see it, but dumb. You know, like they want dumb stuff. You know, the spider's the apex predator. You know, just read. So that's all. Yeah.
Kevin Smith would say, "Whose dick did you suck to allow him to make that movie?"
But I think I'll give it to. I think I want Rampage to go through because I like The Rock too.
But this is for the worst one.
No, yeah, I'm saying I can't. What's the other movie again?
Far Cry.
Yeah, Far Cry. Look, I didn't even see that one. So
no one did. No one did.
Amazing.
So just because I didn't see that and I like The Rock, Far Cry should go to hell. Burn.
Young Phil, what say you?
Well, we know what I'm saying already. Fucking
Far Cry.
Yeah. you ruined one of my favorite video game franchises, you asshole.
Yeah, Darren saying Rampage, she didn't see Far Cry there. Like I said, no one saw Far Cry. Like my kids have seen Rampage. I have a Rampage arcade cabinet behind my green screen here. So yes,
let's be honest, we all know that nobody saw that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole point is that nobody saw that movie. That's how bad it was.
Right. And so the same argument I made before moving on is because they took a heavily story-driven based game and series that each essentially game is its own installment, its own universe, and it doesn't, collate to anything. And they gave it to Uwe Boll, and he made something that didn't follow any of the games.
Yeah.
I agree with Wong saying Rampage was a bad kaiju movie, and it absolutely was. It took an arcade game where people turned into giant kaijus of animals and destroyed buildings. No person turned into an animal in that movie. And they made George, a good guy when he was supposed to be smashing buildings and eating people. He ate one person.
A mutant ape. Why are you not making him a mutant ape?
Yeah. But Far Cry, I will watch Rampage over Far Cry any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, if Rampage wasn't Rampage, if it wasn't based on the game, it's a fun kaiju movie.
Yeah.
Just comparing it to the game that is supposed to, it supposedly had inspired, it's like it's not. This is not anything that has to do with this game, and this franchise.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I'm going Far Cry, and we convinced Darren to change his vote to Far Cry from Rampage. So James can sleep happy at night when he eventually listens to this episode and know that Rampage did not make it to the final four, so he can have his sweet nothing dreams of The Rock.
It's okay, James. We need to summon him. James. The Rock sucks. The Rock sucks. The Rock sucks.
Dang.
Yes, that is our summoning summoning spell for James because he loves The Rock that much. And when we say it, he eventually shows up.
What The Rock is cooking.
All right. So Far Cry moves on. That brings us to our final four for this bracket. So first up, we have Ass Creed versus Blood Rain. So Assassin's Creed, the Michael Fassbender glorious movie that no one watched, versus the Uwe Boll movie of Blood Rain, which was just awful and atrocious and spawned on horrible sequels.
Yeah. Just off that, it has to be the Uwe Boll one. Like, I just remember watching how bad it was. Mm-hmm. I will say though, you can tell they were having fun in the first one, but it was just not the game at all.
No.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna stay with that one.
Uwe Boll is the master of taking something that would have been a good franchise or a good concept and fucking it up completely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I was sticking with my story. He walked through the video game aisle, looked at the cover art, and goes, "I'm making that movie." Mm-hmm. And that's as much research he did to make that franchise. He saw the cover art and said, "I'm making this movie."
Oh, it's a vampire movie. We're gonna make a vampire movie.
We also Underworld, right? Let's just do that.
Yep.
Guarantee
you can see it on Tubi. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
Blood Rain.
Oh yeah. Phil, I know you're a big Assassin's Creed fan, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Fuck. I don't know where to go on this one. Because you have, on one hand, you've got Yui Bowl, who has ruined everything that he's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you have Assassin's Creed. Again, somebody ruining a fucking franchise that I love.
Yep.
So it's like, where do I go? God, fucking fuck.
These get harder when we do the best ofs and the worst ofs when we get to this point, because
So terrible. It's all
mm-hmm.
bad, and then neither of them have anything. I cannot say anything good about either.
Yeah, Darren's voting Blood Rain. We have 2 for Ask Creed. I'm going Blood Rain myself as well, just because it is a piss poor vampire movie at best.
Mm-hmm.
I love vampires, so they destroyed the game and vampires.
And it's like, at worst, it's still a piss poor vampire movie.
Right.
God, I'm gonna have to go against type here. Yui Bowl wrecked this franchise so bad.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I hate Assassin's Creed,
so you're going Blood Rain?
Blood Rain, I'm gonna say was a worse movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I couldn't name you the talent in Blood Rain, honestly, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So. I'm gonna go Blood Rain.
Yeah. That means Blood Rain moves forward to the championship. So who are they gonna face off against? We have Wing Commander versus Far Cry.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets like. This is where like the whole thing is culminating in being like the worst shit ever, because it's like Wing Commander versus fucking. They're both shitty movies.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're stuck in the place of which turd smells better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even think of any redeeming qualities to Wing Commander to let it not go. I just remember how ugly the everything is CGI. It was so annoying.
And it was 90s CGI, so it wasn't even like up and coming okay CGI.
Yeah. But once again, I didn't see Far Cry. So it's hard to make a good.
Mm-hmm.
What's crappier, one you didn't see, I didn't even bother to see, or the one that made my eyes bleed from the CGI?
The best part is we're talking about bad CGI, and they put that movie in front of episode 1, which is notoriously known for bad CGI.
I think that was on purpose. I think to go, you think our CGI is shit? Look at this thing that's coming out. Maybe it was a smart move on their part. You know,
they did that on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Chat's saying Wing Commander right now. I'm still going Far Cry just because I'd rather watch Wing Commander than Far Cry.
I'm gonna go Far Cry myself.
All right. Phil, as of right now, you're the tiebreaker, sir.
Why? Fuck. Okay, where's everybody else voting here? I gotta look.
2 Wing Commanders in chat, and Crumbbum and I are saying Far Cry.
Tater and Darren both saying, "Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me check Instagram."
Uh-oh.
Just a lot of hellos. Not really anybody voting though.
Uh-oh. Say Wong says Wing Commander. So Phil, you may actually tie it up if you say Far Cry.
Fuck, I want to lean Far Cry, but then I also Wing Commander was so bad.
Stick to your guns. You said that you don't, because it just stuck to people hating their own movie they make.
And that's kind of where I'm sticking with Wing Commander, but I also
Mhm.
just I severely hated Far Cry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Fuck it, I'm going Wing Commander.
All right.
Either way, both movies deserve to be in the fucking top. They're both fucking terrible movies.
Oh, I don't disagree to that at all. The question is, did Wing Commander kill the game series after it?
I think it did.
I'm pretty sure it did. Far Cry did not, obviously.
Because Far Cry had 2 other games after that movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie, the Far Cry movie came out right around Far Cry 3.
I thought 5.
Was it 5? I thought it was around 3.
I don't think Far Cry is that old of a movie.
What year did that come out?
It came out. Oh, you're 2008.
Yeah, so I think that was Far Cry 3.
That'd be Far Cry 3. Yeah. Yeah. So it didn't kill the franchise. So it's got that.
Yeah, because it came out. He was obviously trying to emulate the one where he's on the island, and that's Far Cry 3.
Yes. Yep. All right. So yeah, Wing Commander killed the franchise. Good job, you Bull.
Yeah,
no, you Bull didn't create that. Yeah.
Because Wing Commander never made a game after that.
Correct.
They never even did it. It was so bad that they've never even attempted to revitalize that game series.
Yeah. All right, so Wing Commander moves on. So instead of having a U Bull against U Bull, we now have Blood Rain versus Wing Commander for the worst video game movie of all time.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there. All of the top 4 movies are deserving to be in this place.
You're not wrong.
They are all deserving of being the worst video game movie ever created.
I agree. Because I don't know how House of the Dead ain't up here at the top. That was
It came
horrible.
close. It came close.
It did come close.
So I mean, I'm gonna still go with Blood Rain is the worst. It's the worst. It's horrible.
I guess
Yeah.
the only I guess positive thing that Wing Commander had going for it is that it got a wide release. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not a actual good thing. It's that it got a wide release and Blood Rain did not. Blood Rain was essentially a straight movie.
Right.
Oh, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 and 3 were straight to DVD sale clearance for $1 when they came out
On day one.
On day one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was released and went straight to the clearance bin.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to watch it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like I said, Blood Rain, just like I said, it's atrocious, horrible vampire movie that tried to be Underworld and failed miserably and didn't even try to be the game other than by title and pseudo vampires with their little symbol on their chest.
Everything that Yui Bowl makes is basically that.
Oh, yeah. So what are you going with, young Phil?
I think I ultimately go with Blood Rain. Again, I hate Wing Commander by every stretch of the imagination. But Blood Rain was so bad that it was a straight to DVD movie.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Whenever I talk to people about it, and where they mention it up, like, do you remember that really shitty vampire movie based on a video game? I go, Blood Rain. Like, I couldn't remember the name. I'm like, no one wants to remember it.
Why would you remember that name? That's not a name.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think unanimously, to no surprise of anyone watching this and then the internet, that Uwe made the worst video game movie of all time. I mean, yes, the cards were stacked against him because he's made so many of them.
Like the cards were stacked against him because he's Uwe Boll.
Well, that too. That too.
You just know he's doing something crooked.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way there is anything good happening in Germany when they're giving him money to make more movies.
Yeah.
Just to piss me off a little bit here. Do me a favor. Pull up his IMDb and see what movie he's working on right now.
Do you really want to know?
I do. I want to know how much money did somebody give him to make another movie that he shouldn't be making?
Let's see here. He just made Luna Project.
What the fuck?
I have no idea. First Shift is what he's currently working on.
Okay. No, not familiar with that franchise.
Follows a New York City police officer along with his rookie partner Angela as they have a rough day being a cop in the city.
Being a cop in a city that he's never been to.
Correct.
Uwe Boll has said that multiple times, that he makes so many movies that take place in New York and he's never been to New York.
I definitely would.
Wow. So yeah, we definitively said, internet, that you heard it here first, that Blood Rain is the worst video game movie of all time.
I guess the next question that I have is, what do you guys think the money laundering is going on in him making more movies?
Like I said, I know there's taxes, or not taxes. He has what do you call it, insurance, so that if they bomb, he gets money back from it. And that's how he's able to keep doing what he's doing. And then I don't know. I mean, I was wondering, is it like that? Is it like that? Like those bad movies that they make, so they sound like the newest big movie coming out? Is this maybe partly that? Like, it's off the name. Obviously, people are going to want to see it because they want to see their favorite stuff made in the movies. So is that part, like, maybe it's a big cash out at first when people go to see it, and then when they hate it and they start to drop, then I mean, I don't know. It's very strange. It's very strange. Or maybe he's just vain and wants to do it his way. Like, maybe. That could be it too. And then he just cashes out. He cashes out when they bomb inevitably. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes the bracket. Phil, do you want me to because we're about end of the show here. Do you want me to give a sneak preview for the next bracket?
I absolutely do. I want you to give everybody a sneak peek for next week, so that way they know what they're in for.
Yeah. So we are doing. Do you think we should do the fastest speedster?
No,
better.
I think we'll have to do the better speedster, just because I don't know everybody's level of nerdiness when it comes to those characters. Like, do they know, how fast Impulse is versus like Zoom. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know all those characters myself because being a big DC fan, I can't pick my favorite. So for the speedster list, the short list that I made, which short being 32, is we have the Wizard, A Train, Steve Austin, the $6 million man,
Yes.
Speedy Gonzalez, Velocity, Gladiator, Darkseid, Quicksilver, the Roadrunner, Goku, Reverse Flash, Barry Allen, Wally West, Taz, the Tasmanian Tiger, Omni Man, Zoom, the Running Guy, Saint Seiya, or how do we say that? Because I don't know that. From Dragon Ball, right? Silver Surfer, and one I threw in here just for funsies. Philip J. Fry, after he had the 100 cups of coffee for
Yes.
right? Because he
Right. Oh God.
You didn't put Sonic in? I didn't hear Sonic.
not yet. Jay Garrick, Shazam, Birder? I don't know who that is. Speed, the Bullet, North Star, Sentry, Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh,
Superman, Black Adam, Invincible, and Dash from The Incredibles.
You did say Quicksilver in there, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, how are we not putting Quicksilver in there? He's like, Marvel in the Flash.
Yeah. So when I was pulling the list of speedsters together, I tried to get an even amount from comics, from DC and Marvel. Try to give it, because let's face it, DC loves their fast superheroes.
Yeah.
And I did try to pull stuff from from anime, from other cartoons and everything, and video games and stuff like that too, just to kind of give us a quick balance, so it's not just DC versus Marvel's speedsters overall. So that's what we'll have going for us next week. So yeah, and thank you to I think Shadu came up with that list idea. So I made that from Shadu's suggestion. So if you're listening, Shadu, thank you. I hope you're on this bracket. You want it.
I think he'll be home next week. So
Okay. Cool.
I do believe he's gonna be on the shows next week. So
Sweet.
yeah, he should be at his mom's next week. So
Okay. Well, that's a preview for the next bracket that we have.
awesome, man. Well, let me switch here and just kind of show everybody where we're at right now. This is the body, the chassis of the AT-AT.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's just basically the inside of it. There's going to be like seats and everything right here, and then the grappling hook that Luke grabs onto comes up right here.
Oh, nice.
So all that will go in there. I realize my table is not big enough for all the pieces for this thing. So I've had to like lay out a bunch of pieces, and then I've been like kind of searching through the bucket for the ones that I need that I haven't pulled. I'm gonna try and organize it a lot better next week, so then that way I can actually like get to building. So,
Sweet.
so let me go ahead and switch here. Where is the camera button?
No. You can do it, Phil. I believe in you.
All right, man. So that is essentially it for this week's episode of The Build. Well, we went over about close to 15 minutes. I apologize for anybody who had to get off at 8. But that is it from us this week. We appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us. We appreciate everybody on the Instagrams, on the YouTube, on the twits, on the Twitches. Twitching. Okay.
Twitching.
That is it from us, guys. Let's get some pluggables here. Crumbbum, one more time. Let everybody know where they can find you, man.
You can find me on at the Crumbbum on Instagram, and you can also hit me on at my website, crumbbumtheartist.com.
Awesome. All right. Graveyard, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, I'm Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod at Night, Mostly podcast.
They mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
You can find that and part of the Comic-Con Radio with new episodes being released every Wednesday. I did send 3 episodes this week alone for the podcast for them to catch up. So make sure to check that out. We just reviewed the top 5 and bottom 5 of horror movies that came out in 2023. So make sure to check that out and see if you agree with us or not. You can follow us on social media at Pod Out at Night, which you can see right below me here. Make sure to check that out. Go check over Conversations in the Void, our new show that we have on Wednesdays, where we talk to the strange and macabre world of horror movies. And we've been talking to some really great people, directors, writers, and everything else like that. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel as well. And you can find me over at Kyber K Productions 2 to 3 days a week doing awesome gaming and nerd out. Make sure to check that out. You'll find me here every Thursday for the build here on Distance Learning. And if you have any suggestions of brackets you want to see us do, make sure to hit us up. Send us an email in any way you can and give us all your suggestions, and we will make brackets happen. We can do a year of the fans of 2024 for brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, and make sure to check out the new collaboration team that I am part of with some people from the Horror Dads production company. We are now part of Horror Raven, and yes, Raven is misspelled on purpose because it's like you're raving.
So right.
It's because you're raving about horror. So make sure to check it out. We have skits, we have short stories, and short movies coming out that we have planned throughout 2024. So make sure to give us a follow over there as well. And all our handles are coming out relatively soon for all the platforms as well.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm your boy, Young Phil. Follow us on all the places: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingles, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals and the beard, which you just saw on the screen a second ago. If you guys want to support us, best way to support us, you can head over to distancenerding.com and you can join the taco party. Hit the button on the top. You'll see buy us a taco. You can buy us some tacos, and that makes it so that we can continue doing cool things and cool shows and give away cool prizes. Speaking of cool prizes, ladies and gentlemen, if you subscribe on the Twitch, as of right now, once we hit our goal for subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a $50 Bat Cycle Lego kit. So the Bat Cycle from the Batman, the one that Battinson rides. I'm going to be giving that motorcycle away, brand new kit. So it's not a used one or anything like that. Brand new kit, guys. So again, once we hit that subscriber goal, I think we're about 4 subscribers away. Then we will be giving that away to our subscriber list. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would completely consume us and spit us back out at the feet of, I guess, Elon Musk, because he owns the internet now, right? Isn't that how this?
Yes.
This is how this works now. Guys, you can send us an email at dist ensnerding at AOL.com. So that is it from us, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for the dance party. It's been a long time coming, so let's have a little bit of fun and get this out. Do this! Here they come. Go!
Distance nerding.
everybody in there? How's everybody? How are we doing today? You guys are looking like fine people. It's a great time.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.